let me ask you about Iran. So, given the scale of the protests we see now, do you see a realistic possibility of regime change there? And when it comes to U.S. involvement, considering President Trump's statements, so which options do you think are actually on the table right now?
Well, I think these protests, at least from what we can see from the outside, are very widespread, driven largely on economic issues happening all across the country. We've seen this level of protest before, and it's been repressed or subsided without regime change. I think this time it could be different because the pressures on the regime are really now of a kind that they've never faced before. The idea they might have to move the capital from Tehran because they've run out of drinking water due to the agriculture irrigation policies for many, many years, and that the country is just generally facing a water shortage is something they've never faced before. I do think the regime is weak. I think it faces opposition not just on economic issues, but young people are dissatisfied, women are dissatisfied, ethnic groups are dissatisfied, and the Ayatollahs don't seem to have any imagination in how to deal with it. So there's a general collapse of faith, if there ever was much, in the government. And, we'll have to see if these protests continue. There are reports that in the Grand Bazaar in Tehran, the Bazaris were protesting, which is obviously very significant in Iranian history and could really spell significant trouble for the Ayatollahs. I think the U.S. and other outsiders should see from the opposition if we can be helpful in any way, supplying communications capabilities, because there really is not effective nationwide leadership among the opposition. But I do think it's very serious for the regime. I think they'll face a regime crisis when the Ayatollah Khamenei dies, and which is going to happen at some point. And maybe right now we're seeing the beginning of the kind of disarray the regime could face.
So, what is your expectations about the U.S. actions, the U.S. possible actions, considering President Trump's?
Well, I think Trump always has something to say about everything, and threatening action against the regime might be something he's willing to follow through on. I do think the U.S. declared policy should be we want change of regime in Iran. We want the Ayatollahs out. We want some kind of representative government for the Iranian people. Whether this is the best way to do it or not is anybody's guess, but I think it's a credible threat after the 12-day campaign against the nuclear program, which the Israelis have discussed with the U.S. maybe having to renew because of the regime's effort to revive both the nuclear program and the ballistic missile program, adding on the protest and protecting the protest would be a significant increase in pressure, but I would certainly support it if Trump is actually willing to do it.